God bless America. I love you, but what the fuck have you become? The world turns to you, begging, pleading, with so much to be done. But you've turned your back and hid like a thief on the run. So let me pose a few questions. May you answer them honestly. And leave the bullshit behind, America. I grant you no amnesty. What do you stand for? What do you represent? Do you believe in the power of democracy and all that it should be? One that is unimpeded, open and free? Or is that just an outlandish and laughable hyperbole? Do you instead redraw lines in the sand and unfairly divide the land to give one side the advantage, with zero concern for people's actual demands and how they're damaged? Is this a country run by the many or by the few with money? Does each citizen have the right to vote as they please? Or does Jim Crow linger around like an uncured and fatal disease? Is it a voter's ID that you require, or voter suppression that you aspire? Is America better when only whites can vote again? Is that how we make this country great again? America, do you believe in the power of history and all its mighty knowledge, that we're inevitably bound to repeat it if it's not acknowledged? Or instead, do you recklessly rewrite textbooks, with our many faults slanted or abolished? Do young Americans learn our factual path towards liberty? Or are they fed constant lies and attempt to rectify our tainted history? To the point where the cause of the Civil War to them is some sort of fucking mystery. America, do you believe in the power of science and its invaluable facts? That our future depends on its conclusions and then how we act? Or on the contrast, do you rarely accept the findings of biased research? Research that's bought and sold. Research that hides the truth like a blindfold. Just so you can drill for more oil and burn more coal, all to get more money, more gold. America, your greed is uncontrolled and it's getting old. Tell me, do you believe in the power of education and the great weight that it holds? That when it comes to investing in our children, we must be bountiful and bold, and that public education is our oldest and most vital backbone? Or rather, do you cut funding and divest, and do nothing as American schools fall below the rest? As the richest country in the world, do you provide your teachers with a livable pay? Or are they forced to worry about their finances each and every day? As the richest country in the world, do you treat each district equally, or are inner city schools understaffed and underfunded repeatedly? America, do you believe in the power of a middle class, and the major part that they play? That we're strongest when our working class have rights and a say, that they must be able to bargain for better conditions and a better pay? Or instead, do you deny their right to organize and disguise it as a right to work? Also, you could squeeze wages and outsource like it's fucking clockwork, just to save a cent and continue to rig the system for the top 1%. America, do you believe in the power of your own experiment? That our melting pot of ideas and peoples is our greatest American element? That we're only great when we're together as one? That we're only great when we accept and cherish our differences? That we're only great when we uphold our American principles? That we're only great when we hate less and love more? That we will only be great once we're all equal, not a moment before? But now I look at you, America, and I don't even recognize you anymore. I look up at my flag and I don't even recognize it anymore. Because you are what you do, America, not what you claim to be in fictional history textbooks. So to each countryman, proud or not, find a mirror and take a few looks. What do you see? What do you stand for? Do you witness the actions of this country and its leaders and ask questions? Or do you accept your parents' fixed ideology without the slightest thoughts or hesitations? Have you found one benefit for yourself in this mess, then ignored the rest, and look past the issues that need to be addressed, as you allow your white privilege to blind you from the oppressed? Right from wrong, can you discern it? The eyes you see through, are they open? Morals and a fucking conscience, do you have them? I hate to speak with aggression, but for there to be any progression, the young people must acknowledge this hard-earned lesson. Since its creation, this nation has built its foundation atop discrimination, intimidation, greed, and inequality. But today we stand in solidarity, with clarity, that each man and woman, regardless of their race, creed, sexual orientation, skin color, income, is created equal. So America, get ready for your long-awaited sequel, because it's a mighty surge of change approaching on the horizon. And it's not just a blue wave or some rain, but it's a whole goddamn hurricane. Because like bombs over Pearl Harbor, number 45 has awoken a new America, one that won't stand for this shit. One that won't flat out ignore Mother Nature's desperate cries for help. One that understands how the slaves must have felt. One that will fight so minorities have constant opportunity. One that won't fucking... One that fights so minorities have constant opportunity. One that will demand justice for all the blacks that are deservingly shot. One that will free all the inmates that are serving for pot. One that will stand behind its military but strive for diplomacy and peace. One that will demand accountability from its police. One that yearns for the friendly fire in America to cease. One that will embrace their Muslim sisters and brothers. One that will treat the transgendered as their equal others. One that together will chant Black Lives Matter. One that won't build walls but will help tear them down. One that will not fear the fabricated other. One that knows healthcare is a basic human right. One that will reject the teachings of the intolerant far right. One that will listen to science and its irrefutable facts. One that knows that our reckless actions have irreversible impacts. One that won't tell a woman what she can do with her own body. One that knows what America was meant to embody. Now I have one last question for my sovereign nation, then I'll close this interrogation. America, how do you define a patriot? Is it someone who flies countless flags throughout their property, yet is proud without doubt of a country whose actual history they know or care little about? Is it someone whose first and only patriotic protest is boycotting a league whose players use a peaceful right to shed light on the fight against injustice and inequality? Is a patriot someone who spews fear and hate in the name of making this country great? Or does a patriot recognize our faults, past and present? Do they feel the pain of all Americans, not just those who look like them? The pain of the natives, the pain of the slaves, the pain of the Puerto Ricans that lost their life, the pain of our dying oceans and wildlife, the pain of every black that was lynched and thrown in a ditch, the pain of the mentally ill, the pain of those hooked on pills, the pain of all the families in Flint, the pain of the miners who can't pay their rent, the pain of every military mother who's had to bury their daughter or son, the pain of entire generations to come. Does a patriot recognize that we're not just citizens of this country, but first and foremost citizens of this world? That when America gladly accepted its great power, it thus accepted great responsibility. That it must lead by example and fight for what's right. That it must lead in the fight against climate change and for human rights. That is the America that's in my sights. It's now your turn to decide. But make no mistake, the youth is turning this tide. And to them I say, stay angry, but be calm. Because it's darkest before the dawn. And the Koch brothers better hope I'm wrong, but it's kids like me that makes that highly unlikely. I guess we'll just have to wait and see.
Woo!
Until then, God bless America.
Woo!
I love you, but what the fuck have you become?